WXCO 98.9, Wausau's real news and great conversation. Here's your Daily News Roundup.
For 98.9 WXCO News, I'm Shali Pittman. Central Wisconsin seemed largely spared when compared to snow totals across the rest of the state this weekend. Snowfall data from the National Weather Service shows that Wausau got about 3.3 inches of snow, but if you went anywhere south or east, those snow totals doubled or nearly tripled. The top snowfall in Wisconsin over the past few days is Lancaster, in the southwest corner of the state, which got a combined 13 inches of snow. And today is the first day that candidates running in next spring's elections can circulate nomination papers. They'll have just over a month to circulate those and file additional campaign paperwork. That deadline is January 6th. Spring elections are around the corner. Those elections have mostly local candidates on the ballot. 10 of the 38 members of the Marathon County Board have already submitted paperwork declaring their candidacy, according to a candidate tracker provided by the county. One supervisor, Thomas Rosenberg of Weston, has filed paperwork that he's not running. The next general spring election is in April. The primary, if needed, is in mid-February. Ahead of next spring's elections, the bipartisan Wisconsin Elections Commission is poised to reinforce rules for removing poll watchers. The commission sets and distributes rules to the over 1,900 local and county clerks across the state. The commission's meeting again today. One item on the agenda, affirming that municipal clerks have the authority to remove election observers if they're disruptive, engage in electioneering, or post election-related materials. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul has signed on to at least 38 multi-state lawsuits that oppose Trump administration actions. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel tallied them up last week. Civic Media's Maddie Schaefer breaks down what that number means for the state.
The lawsuits largely challenge frozen or blocked funding from education to health care. A lawsuit filed last week seeks to stop new eligibility restrictions on food share assistance, the federal program known as SNAP and as Food Share in Wisconsin. And the federal DOJ has backed down after another multi-state lawsuit joined by Kaul. It would have required new restrictions for legal services under the Victims of Crime Act and Violence Against Women Act. The restrictions would have required that survivors prove their immigration status before receiving help. The gun deer hunt ended yesterday. At last count, 10 people had been injured in a hunting accident and one man has died. Authorities have identified the 24-year-old Lomira Mann who died from a bullet wound to the chest while in a tree stand at the start of the gun deer hunt. His name is Michael Kotke. He left behind a wife and 5-month-old son. An online GoFundMe has raised more than $80,000 from hundreds of donations. During the 9-day gun deer season last year, the DNR reported one gun hunting incident. As a reminder, the 4 basic rules of firearms safety are: treat every firearm as if it's loaded, always point the muzzle in a safe direction, be certain of your target, what's before and what's beyond it, and keep your finger outside the trigger guard until ready to shoot.
Maddie Schaefer reporting. A new report shows increasing deportations and anti-immigrant sentiment harm our social safety net programs like Social Security. Civic Media's Savannah Tomei Olson breaks it down.
As America's baby boomers continue to retire, the number of American-born workers is expected to dramatically drop over the next decade. There are an estimated 70,000 people who are undocumented in Wisconsin, according to data from the Migration Policy Institute. They estimate about 47,000 of them are employed. The Economic Policy Institute put out an analysis that shows it will be impossible to maintain normal GDP growth without immigrant workers. Report author Josh Bivens.
It does make things like Social Security and Medicare a little harder to sustain. If we have a steady flow of younger immigrant workers coming in, that just makes it much easier to sustain those really important social insurance programs.
Workers pay into Medicare and Social Security, and that includes workers without legal immigration status. According to Social Security trustees, the program will not be able to pay full benefits after 2036. The Trump administration says it hopes to deport 1 million immigrants each year to secure borders and jobs for American-born workers. More than 1.2 million immigrants disappeared from the U.S. labor force in the first half of 2025, according to the Pew Research Center. The National Bureau of Economic Research shows increases in immigration actually lead to more jobs overall and higher wages for U.S.-born workers.
The really immigrant-heavy part of residential construction is maybe the framing and digging out the foundation. Well, if that doesn't get done, the part of construction that is more intensive in the use of U.S.-born workers, like maybe the electrician and the plumber, they can't do their work.
Immigrants make up nearly 20% of the overall American workforce. Nearly half of all farming, fishing, and home healthcare work is done by immigrants.
Savannah Tomei Olson reporting. For 98.9 WXCO News, I'm Shally Pittman.
It's the Bucks and the Wizards. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports NBA. The Bucks on the road tonight against the Wizards at the Capital One Arena in downtown Washington. The Bucks have Giannis and Kevin Porter Jr. back from injuries, able to end that 7-game losing streak over the weekend. College football. Wisconsin lost at Minnesota 17-7. So after finishing 4-8, where's the Badgers program headed? Luke Fickell.
It is what it is right now, so we know more than anything that we have to grow, we have to move forward, we have to build on the positive things that we do have, and that's the only thing we can do. Whether we create our own momentum and energy, and that's where we've got to make sure that that isn't lost.
NFL, the Packers host the Bears Sunday at Lambeau Field. The Bears have won 5 in a row and are in first place after beating the Eagles.
In the NFC North, it's a tight race. There's a lot of good football teams in our division, so we got to come out here and handle business.
That's Packers quarterback Jordan Love with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
A little light snow today. It's going to be mostly cloudy with a high right around 20 this afternoon. Tonight, could see a little snow lingering into this evening. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a low to 9 above. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 22 with a little more light snow Tuesday night into Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable.
That's your Wausau News Roundup from WXCO. Find more news anytime at WXCO.FM. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts.